Good day, traders. What's going on? What's going on? Prof from Benko Forex Academy here. I'm here with V75 today. Just before we start analyzing, slicing, and dicing this price action, I want to remind you guys to go and subscribe on the channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend so that we'll grow our community fast. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. I'm just waiting for the number of people to hit 1,000. Then I start uploading material that relates to my strategy. I'm excited today because I'm expecting V75 to give us a mega buy. We are going to be chowing money from this indies for a long time based on what I'm seeing here. Without wasting time, let's just go right into it. But just a bit before we go into it, I want to remind you, I want to direct you to V51S and go to V51S. This is for study purposes. If you are a price action trader, or if you call yourself a price action trader, go to V51S. Go to V51S. Then you go there, compare and contrast the price action under V51S. Go and compare and contrast the price action under V51S from this point here with the V75, from this point here to this point here. You're going to see some beauties there. It's going to give you a lot of information about how price behaves. Go and check this these three waves here, this 1, 2, 3 here, against what we have or what I gave you in that video for V51S. Go and check. You're going to enjoy this, I promise you. If you're a price action trader, you're going to enjoy this beauty. There's a lot of information being conveyed there. There's a lot to learn just from this price action given here. Just go and check for yourself. Just go and check for yourself. You'll be shocked. You'll be surprised how price behaves. Yes, the conditions are different and we might expect different things because number one, the participants are different. Not everyone who trades V75 trades V51S. Number two, the psychology is different because these pairs have different PEEP values and all that, so they will affect people differently. Again, the time they were introduced again are different, but well, price is price. Tell you what, it behaves in the same way. Technical analysis is based on price, starting price, and the way price behaves is the same. That's the basis for Elliott wave. People behave in the same way, whether they are in volatility indices or they are trading currencies or they are trading forex indices. It's still the same thing, whether you are under USDX or you are under V75. The reactions are still the same. The psychology is still the same. And probably the participants have the same behavior as well. It is the same thing again with the Fibonacci sequence numbers, the golden ratio. It's based on that psychology again. It's based on those measurements again. It's almost similar and the same thing. That's why Fibonacci and Elliott wave goes hand in hand, because it's psychology based. Just go and check for yourself. You enjoy that beauty, I tell you. Let's just study V75 starting from this point here. I'm taking you back to this point here because there is a lot to learn on this price action being displayed here. There's a lot to learn. Obviously, we are not going to cover all of it today. I will do this on another day when we are doing back testing, and on another day when we are doing price action studies, when we are slicing and dicing price action, when I'm showing you the secrets of how to read price, when you don't want to use these crazy indicators that are always lagging behind. You wait for them and before you know it, you have lost a good trade, and whatever you are into now is a jungle of the broker stealing your money. Let's just start from this point here that we are given. If you check your indice from this point here. If you go on higher time frames, you're going to notice that here you're given one correction, two, then a third and a fourth and fifth wave up to that extent. Then the first correction, which then translated into a triangle. Those who trade patterns, because remember, we have pattern traders. We have pattern traders who know how to trade these patterns. I also do the same, but not just trading patterns alone. I trade patterns with market structure. I sometimes trade these patterns with market structure. So those who trade patterns, they do know that there is a beautiful piece of information here. They know that if you are trading your triangle, and it's an A, B, C, D, E correction, you wait for a throw over here. After the throw over, after they have taken out or they have made a fake breakout there, then you then take that trade when it comes back inside and give you confirmation for this trade here, or for at this point here, the information, I'm sure you are seeing that it is not the case here for V75. It is not the case for V75 here. Why? Well, probably maybe that's how it behaves. Let's keep on looking at price action and pick one or two things that will help you in your trading if you are looking forward to trade V75. Always remember, go where you know. Don't just pick an index that you don't know and expect to profit from it. Well, it will be very hard. You incur losses after losses. When you pick an index to trade, you study it, you know its behavior, you know how it behaves, you know which candlesticks it respects, you know which market structures are most prevalent. Then from there, you then start trading. Well, let's just check how it moves there. When it's from a peak there, it moves correctively until it just escapes. There it gave an impulse wave. When you get that impulse like that, you look at where the impulse started and identify an order block from there. Here we have that order block there. Well, it's not much of an order block. I'll call that a propulsion block instead. That's a propulsion block which propelled this price to the upside. Let's now bring back our color there. Let's now bring back our color. So we have that propulsion block there. That propulsion block. Then price went upside. It came back to retest this order block here, upside. Then it came back into the board of the order block, then upside again. This is a beautiful piece of information. If you are looking forward to making money in the market, this is a beautiful piece of information. What I've just given you there can make you money. I tell you what, I'll explain in other videos later how you can profit from that information only that I've given you there. I will tell you in the next videos. Just be on the lookout. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification button. Remember to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you don't miss anything. Then from there, it rallied up to this this high here, which ended our third wave based on our measurements. And remember, price is fractal. So inside this third wave, we will also have 5 waves. The 5 waves that I've just marked in lowercase there. Then this deep correction here, I didn't mark this correction because it is almost similar with a complex correction that we have on V51S. That's why I said just go to V51S and start the price action there. Right now, it's falling down like crazy. V51S is falling down like crazy right now. Why? Because price will always repeat itself. And we saw that it was going to fall. If you watch that video, I told you what was going to happen. Just to go and check what is happening right now. It's a beauty. If you know how to read price, it will always whisper to you what to do. Let's pay our attention from this point now. going upside to where price is. These are building blocks of us understanding why we have what we have and why we are expecting what we are expecting. It's a secret. It's a secret. But remember to tell a friend, so that they recover their money that has been taken by these brokers. I know you guys have been losing a lot of money because of these strategies. Tell you what, not all mentors will tell you everything. They will not tell you what they are using to make money, but they will help you get to where you are going. Who would give a secret to $1 million on a silver platter? Then 1, 2, 3, 4. We're given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves there. Look, I just want to draw your attention to this. When I see these things, I enjoy. Look at this. Let me just zoom it a bit. And label it well. Probably change the colors themselves. Let me change the colors to shiny colors so that you see what I'm talking about. Look at this price action here. There's this wave up, then you're given 1, 2, 3, which translated into a triangle. Let's label the triangle together here. Let's label the triangle together here. I want to show you how price repeats itself, how price sets its footprints, how it steps the same way. Look at this price action here. Then you compare it. These are the basics of starting price. Then you compare it with what you are given here, which translated into a triangle. I'm tempted to change this color again to a twin yellow. Just look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Then you compare and contrast with what you've been given here. And tell me if price action is not important. My friends, this is a beauty. This is a beauty. This is a beauty, my friends. This is a beauty, my friends. Look at that. This whole price action compressed into this. Look at that. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Then from there we're given that wave, which then we have another correction there. Then from there we're given it then started going up again. What we would expect if we are not in a higher time frames, impulsive wave or motive wave rather, if we are not in higher time frame impulsive waves or motive waves, we would expect this AB's correction to correct up to somewhere here to be very deep. But because we're in an impulsive wave, this did not correct much to the downside. The lowest point we would expect this to correct is where? Is this area of the fourth wave only, and then continue going upside. So this was the final point where we would expect this to correct it to before it goes upside. This was the final wave according to Elliott wave, that is. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, then the fifth wave up there. So our 5 higher time frame motive waves ended at this point. And from this point, whatever we are now experiencing is a correction of what has been happening upside. it's interesting how pairs that used to be buy pairs, or how indices that used to be buy indices are now selling crazy, and those that used to be sell indices are now buying crazy. For example, we have a case of V100 here against V75. V100 used to be a sell index, but it has been of late buying like crazy, and this has been selling surprisingly like a fall from heaven. Let's just now study this correction here. Let's study this correction here and see where price has been and where it's supposed to go. From this here, we have 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3. This correction here did not necessarily take out this high there. It confirmed that we were now going down. If you check this, it's around 0.786 correction of this major wave, but it has been correctively, and this has been correctively again, which then gave us information that we were expecting this to come down, but to come down to where I was expecting this. If I show you my gallery of analysis, I was expecting this to come down to this lowest point there, to come down to this lowest point there. If this would hold as a zigzag, I was expecting it to come down to the fourth wave. Remember, we said that if you are in a motive wave, the correction is most likely going to correct up to the beginning of the fourth wave of the just immediately finished motive wave. So these waves have been completed, and the fourth wave is here. So we were expecting this to dip into this fourth wave before going up, even going up to this upside. But the measurements for this, if then it would stand as a what? As a flat, we were expecting it to come down to 1.168, and 1.168 is labeled here on this line, which then makes this an interesting area. The 1.168. The 1.168 of that is just here on these areas given here by this. Okay, then from there, let's continue. Let's just remove these markers here so that they don't crowd our charts. So we were given this, and we are expecting this wave to end where? To end around these areas. Let's just look at this shape we are given here and the price action given in these and see what to expect. Let's just look at this. Let me give you insights as to what to expect here and what we have been expecting from the beginning of the week. Let me remove this a bit and just have this price action filling our screen here. So if you check here, we were given another triangle here, and from the triangle it broke and retested this trend line. There's a break and a beautiful correction there for a continuation buy. There's a beautiful correction there for a continuation buy. Let's for a continuation buy. And we were given this continuation buy there to come to the upside, to come to where the target was this or these order blocks here, or these order blocks here. So the price came directly to the beginning or the drop down of this. We have this big fat M here, these mitigation blocks. So the price came to that, it gave a reversal candle combination, then it started going down. I wouldn't have expected you to get the trade from that top. Well, it was just as fast. Go and check 15 minutes. It was just as fast. I wouldn't have expected you to get that trade. Then from there, it gave this in head and shoulder formation that you're seeing there. Ta-da! There was that beautiful head and shoulder there, which we were given, and from that head and shoulder there, it was very easy to take. It was very easy to take. It was very easy to take. Some would wait for break and retest. Tell you what, sometimes it never comes. But from this correction, you would have taken this trade, and on a break and retest, you wouldn't have taken this trade. You would have taken that trade, and beautifully coming to the down, targeting those lows. Okay. Now, then it bounced off here after taking out this low. Price is never chaos, ladies and gentlemen. There's no chaos on price. Price is always giving you hints. It's always it has its own behavior. You just don't know how to read it. But there's no chaos on price, ladies and gentlemen. There's no chaos on price. So after taking out the stop losses here, the loss of people who had taken that buy, it then just impulsed up. It then just impulsed up and started to correctively go down, translating to where we are right now. It's very painful. I missed this trade late yesterday. To be honest, I think it was a problem of perfection. I was waiting for perfection here. I was waiting for at least price action like this. Let me just grab that. I was waiting for something like that. Look how it repeats that. Look how it repeats that. Look how it repeats that. And that's the same thing that I was waiting for here, which did not come as expected. They just gave a pin buy and a funny candlestick, and all of a sudden they were moving up fast. Well, it's not a problem for me. There is plan B, obviously. There is plan B. So what is our plan here? Based on this corrective movement given here, the trade is most probably going to come to either these areas of these order blocks here. Let me just mark the order block so that you are not surprised next time. Let's use this one from the beginning of the correction. It's going to come to either bounce off this order block here. If it doesn't bounce off this order block here, coming down again, it's going to take out market structure, which is this high. But now, if it takes market structure like that, then what I would expect, I would then have two expectations. If it takes out market structure like that, then you then have to expect correction on this. Okay, you then have to expect correction for an upside movement. If they break out market structure, you then have to expect correction for an upside movement. Where will the correction take us? It might take us back to these areas where they would have covered 61.8 of the first wave, and in those areas they might have left. We might then be tempted to use these order blocks here to see how it then reacts on those order blocks before we can consider a trade going upside. So the first thing that I'm expecting there is for them to bounce off in these order blocks and then start also a corrective move downwards. You just need to check the weekly candlesticks and see how they are like. Remember today, just remember that today is a Friday and we are just left with one day. The week ends tomorrow for these indices, so you need to check your weekly candlestick and see how it's like, and what's the most probable thing to happen from that weekly candlestick. You just need to check where the open, the close, the low, the high is even before it closes, and then you compare with candlesticks around and see what's the most probable thing to do or to happen. So how are we expecting to take this trade? We have missed this one. How do we take this short movement up there? Well, now they are moving up strong. I was expecting them to give me something like this on lower time frames, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, even M2. I was expecting them to give me a bit of something like this here, okay, or something like this here, just a correction on lower time frames. Then from that correction we take the trade up. I was expecting them to do a proper break and retest. It's a break and retest that I'm talking about here, that I was expecting. If they give us that break and retest, even now, it's still morning, isn't it? If they give us a break and retest, then I will be happy to take the trade. If that break and retest, if that retest on lower time frames has depth, don't just take a retest with the two candlesticks and then you say this is a retest. My friends, you'll be bent. You'll even lose your enthusiasm to trade. You lose all your glory. Just wait a bit for the correction to be deep enough, my friends, so that you take this trade. It becomes highly probable. If they accumulate more, it's most probably that probable that they will move upside even in a strong movement. There is one thing that I need to mention here. Remember, we are waiting for this 1.168 peg to be marked, even for them to maintain their trend line that they've established there, to then just do a throw over before they go upside. But that's not the only thing that we have. That's not the only thing that we have. You can see there I have a second line there. Let me just compress the price and see what I'm talking about. There are interesting details that have made me pick this index today. If you look at it, let me just remove those as well so that I explain this interesting thing. If you look at it from this point, then 5 waves upside to this point, then measure the retracement to this point, you are going to see that the retracement to this point, when it gets here, it will be in the region of 0.786, which then give us an idea or something to consider there, that the relationship between these two waves might be a wave 1, wave 2 on higher time frames, which is higher than this, which is even higher than the daily time frame. Because remember, these indices are still new. We don't have enough price action on weekly time frames and monthly time frames to then see when the mega or the other waves that are supposed to be in those time frames are now occurring. So it is possible that this is wave 1 and this is wave 2 of higher time frames. And ladies and gentlemen, if this is wave 2 of higher time frames, what I would expect here is a mega buy. We would buy this for a long time. This would resume a buy momentum for a long time. And if that stands, then we would expect price symmetry to be at this point. Then at this point, then even at this point, we would expect V75 long-term wise to come to these areas. In those areas, we would know that buys are always safe and sells obviously would be traded with care. Would you hold for that time? Not necessarily, but it's important information for your psychology and your decision making. It's important information for your trading. You don't need to analyze too much. You would know when it's time to buy, it's time to buy. Okay, that's it from me today on V75. That's it for me on V75. Let's see how it behaves. Just make sure you look into that in lower time frames. You don't want to miss the trade if you are given the opportunity there. But if the opportunity doesn't come, well, don't you worry. There will be other opportunities elsewhere. There will be opportunities elsewhere. You just stock those. There will be opportunities elsewhere. Let's just stock this one. Remember, stocking is also a profession. Let's just stock this one and see how it goes. That's V75 for you. Thank you very much. It's Benkov signing out. It's Prof signing out. Just make sure you subscribe to the channel. Don't miss out on our next videos. Don't miss out on our next videos. I'm waiting for 1,000 subscribers there to start sharing my strategy with you guys so that we are on the same page when we are talking about these things. Have a beautiful day. I wish you a peaceful week. Just enjoy what's left of your week. Goodbye.